What's up, guys? Shuckle King here, bringing you my Week 8 team builder and battle for UDL. We are facing off against Parker. Definitely a must-win game to have a chance to make playoffs. We still are not guaranteed to make it. There's only 4 teams that make it out of 9 in my division, but getting to 4-4 gives me definitely a chance to win, depending on how matchups above me go. Before we get into this, make sure you guys like the video and consider subscribing to my channel if you guys appreciated this content. Definitely something different, but hopefully you guys have enjoyed the season. I've really enjoyed playing in UDL. It's my favorite, and really the only showdown stuff that I do too much anymore. In terms of draft league, maybe I'll get into other stuff in the future, but I really doubt it. UDL is like, I really like the people there. In the future, I will have Wi-Fi content again, so don't worry about it. Maybe in like a month to 6 weeks or something like that. I really want to try to get Illustrious content out in the channel, but a little bit busy with IRL stuff, but hopefully we can get to that soon. I want to make sure I do a good job when I jump into Celestial stuff. It's definitely something a lot different, but once I get like a video or 2 going, then I definitely know I'll be able to jump on that train a lot better. So yeah, just a little bit hesitant there, but I want to make sure to put good content out for that. But we are here for week 8 for UDL, facing off against Parker. He is someone I've known for a while. He was on my team. Jolt and I drafted him when we were coaches of DPL season 3. He played Generation 8 before all the Pokemon actually got moves, and he was a pretty good teammate. So very excited to play him, and I know he has a lot going on IRL, so just make sure everything goes well with him. But yeah, he has a darkrai, which is very, very scary to my team, and he also has Mega Mawile, which has also been scary to face in past matchups. Now, I think I have better outs for Mega Mawile compared to my Oras team. It's tough because Garchomp was pretty good, and I have a Donphan here, but I also have Charizard, which is pretty good into Mega Mawile, so I think I'll be okay there. Darkrai is just very, very tough, though. Like, Passimian is the Pokemon I got when I made my changes over Virizion. Now, Virizion is a better answer to Darkrai, I would say. Like, it has higher special defense than Passimian does. Maybe Throw would have been a better pick, because it's a lot more special defensive, but Passimian was also pretty decent into 100p, and I was also great to be able to get that win last week, so it's tough to say. I have Passimian into my Dark Resist with Greninja, which is also not too much of a Dark Resist. Maybe Electros is kind of okay, but if Darkrai is up Specs, then it's just gonna 2-KO me no matter what. It could be Specs, it could be Scarf to outspeed everything on my team. Nasty Plot, it could just be screens into Darkrai. You really need Dark Pulse, Psychic, I guess, for Passimian, and then Thunderbolt for Greninja, and then you're pretty much good. You could be Sub, a couple options for the Darkrai. Yeah, it's very good on my team. Cresselia, it's obviously not as good as Mega Latios. It takes a lot longer for it to actually deal damage with Calm Mind, but it's bulkier. And I don't know if Dark Pulse Greninja is going to be like good enough of a deterrent for Cresselia. Now, like, it's not that strong, so you need a lot of boost for it to do well. So hopefully we can put pressure on it early, so that way it can't really set up, or we have Toxic and we can stall it out okay. Maybe like Calm Mind, recover Shadow Ball probably to hit the Aegislash, and then maybe Psychic or Moonblast or something as the 4th move. Maybe Moonblast to hit the Greninja a little bit harder. Mega Mawile is obviously scary. I have Charizard that always revenge kills and threatens it, and kind of switches in if it's in its regular form. Not really. If it's Rock Slide, obviously it dies. I don't know if you run Rock Slide in this game, but it's definitely an option. Greninja can revenge kill because there's a Sucker Punch. Passimian can kind of do so too. Donphan can be physically defensive and be okay in a Mega Mawile. It's very threatening though. Dragonite with Z is quite good. It's a little bit slow. I mean, it speed ties Passimian and the Mesprit, so you probably wouldn't run Jolly to speed tie them, I suppose. Because I could be Scarf Ice Beam on Mesprit, or I could be Scarf Rock Slide, I guess, on the Passimian. It's not that threatening, but it's an option. Z Ground for Aegislash seems okay. You could also be Z Dragon, or just have Extreme Speed Fire Punch. A couple options. Terra Dragon, Dragon Claw could be an option, or Z Dragon Claw could be an option as well. So Dragonite has pretty good options. I think those 4 100% come. And I think Quackjar is also pretty much 100% bring as well. It's kind of tough. I mean, it's a pseudo Charizard check. I could have hidden Power Grass for it, so you probably run Rindoberry. physically defensive Quagsire, which is very predictable, and I can plan accordingly to that. But definitely predictable, but it's definitely good at the Charizard, and it's okay in the Aegislash as well, if I'm not specially focused. It stops Sword Stance Aegislash, which as you see here, I have Sword Stance Aegislash. Intimidate mawile is okay into a Charizard, but yeah, you want to have the Quagsire here in this game for sure. As opposed to a 6, I guess you probably want removal for the Dragonite to sweep. So the removal is Rotom and Kamala, and I think Kamala is gonna be favored in this game over Rotom because it also kind of takes on Aegislash. Not really, and as you see here, I have Sacred Sword, but it's a fake check to it, and with like Earthquake, Sucker Punch, like it does a little bit of stuff. And Rotom is threatened by a Shadow Sneak, so. And it's like threatened by a lot of Pokemon in this team, so I don't think Rotom's going to come. It's honestly not the worst, but I think Kamala comes instead of it. Vileplume is okay. It's like pretty similar to the Gloom that I was starting with K-Crick's build, and kind of checks Kartana, the Vileplume. But I don't know if that's worthy enough to bring in this game. Rotom is okay. Shadow Sneak from +2 Aegislash kills. Greninja, Charizard, Kartana all threaten Rotom, so seems tough. Kamala's frail, but probably comes from removal. Lycanroc is like okay coverage and outspeeds Kartana, which is nice for a Fire Fang. Has a Cell Rock for Charizard, Sucker Punch, Aegislash. It's definitely good in this game, but I just don't think he has an. If you really want to make sure Dragonite has the best chance to sweep, which I think is pretty good opportunity to do so, then I think you need removal, and I think you want the other Pokemon on the team. But I really don't think anything on this build is unbringable. So in my build, as we see here, Aegislash, I wanted to bring Sword Stance, and I have it here. I understand Quagsire, but Shadow Claw with Ghost DMZ in a regular does like over 80%, especially if you're not leftovers. You're probably Rindoberry to take on Charizard. And if you have a little bit of chip, I might have a chance to kill, as well as Shadow Claw having an increased critical hit chance. Like I have a lot of opportunities for Aegislash to get the kill on the Quagsire if I have to. But ideally, I can use the Ghost DMZ on like Cresselia that's trying to set up, and I want Sword Stance to have an out against Calm Mind Cresselia, because I kind of similar to Latias was like a threat, and as soon as I lost my Ghostium, Latias was able to set up a lot freer. So definitely went physical to make sure I could break the Cresselia if it is going to be setting up Calm Minds and such. Sacred Sword is a move here to hit the Kamala. Also hits the Darkrai, which is definitely nice. I have a lot of HP bulk to make sure I live. Mawile hits better. Maybe an Earthquake from Quagsire, Earthquake from Dragonite, all that. So Aegislash looks good here. Charizard X is an answer to Mega Mawile. Regular form, at least resist Play Rough, so that's like not bad. But ideally, I have this Mega pretty early. I have enough attack to kill the Quagsire if it's not Rindoberry with Dragon Claw into Hidden Power Grass with leftovers. I doubt that comes, but if it does come, then that's sweet. The speed allows me to outspeed Scarf Darkrai, outspeeding Greninja. I could go like a tiny bit more speed to make sure I outspeed a paralyzed Scarf Darkrai, and you could max speed, and you'll see why that could be an option here. But technically, if it's max speed, I don't outspeed Scarf Darkrai if it's paralyzed, which is kind of weird. But this also lets me outspeed Dragonite, ideally. And I live a hit from Specs Darkrai at 100%. It does like 90%. So that's why I was okay going with minus special defense, because I wanted to do more damage to the Quagsire within Power Grass. So, yeah, my pseudo check to Darkrai, pseudo check to Mega Mawile, and hopefully I can kill the Quagsire. And then Aegislash can open up a little bit if that's the case. All right, we have Mesprit here. The Thunder Wave, my Darkrai answer, obviously. Enough special defense to live Modest Scarf, or Modest Bex, Dark Pulse from Darkrai. Ideally, I'm going to lead with this and get a T-Wave on lead Darkrai turn 1, and then we're fine. He's definitely not going to para me, or flinch me, which is a 30% chance, but if he does, then I'm going to have to play around it. If it's not Scarfed, I'll outspeed. Like on the following turn, and get a Dazzling Gleam off or a Light Screen or whatever I want, and that's fine. Ideally, I can get Reflector Light Screens, not as important. I just want to get damage on the Darkrai if I do get a para on it turn 1. And yeah, ideally I don't get flinched. Otherwise, I have screens, gives me an opportunity for aegislash or charizard to set up a little bit better. But again, I do need that quagsire dead if that is the case. Passimian is here as choice scarf, pretty straightforward. Speed ties, max speed dragonite. Outspeed scarf or non-scarf darkrai and kills with close combat. I would have liked seed bomb on this set for quagsire, but I rock slide to hit the dragonite and then knock off for the rotom and the cresselia. So I think this is okay because I do have a Kartana that can handle the quagsire all right, unless if it's hidden power fire, it could be. I kind of doubt it, and if I get Quag really weakened with Kartana, then that's a fine trade. I can revenge with Charizard or aegislash, and then they look a lot better. Even Passimian could revenge kill. I 2-KO max defense Cresselia if I have a Sword Stance boost with Smart Strike, so it's hard for it to like Calm Mind consistently beat me. I live a modest Scarf Dark Pulse from Darkrai, which is cool. And Custap Berry would put me in range, and then I could kill with a Leaf Blade in return. I don't have great coverage for Vileplume. I do have like Smart Strike, which is fine into it, but not the most hard hitting. I also have Defog in case Charizard is not mega yet and would take 50% from rocks. I don't want that, so that's what the speed is for. And yeah, speed is for max speed Rotom on this set. And the last Pokemon I have is Greninja. It's Focus Ash. I keep Cresselia low. If it becomes problematic with Dark Pulse and Taunt, Taunt allows me to make sure that Cresselia isn't going to be recovering and getting Calm Mind boost, and Dark Pulse should keep it pretty low. Surf does a lot of damage once it's in Torrent, and Water Shuriken is got a priority to have. If Xenite is slow and doesn't have E-Speed or something like that. Hits the Darkrai if it's Scarf. At least I can get a hit off with water, like Surf, and the Water Shuriken should kill the Darkrai. Especially if he like outspeeds me, goes for a Thunderbolt, puts me in Focus Sash range to go for a Surf, brings me into Torrent, plus Water Shuriken should kill in the following turn. Also outspeeds Lycanroc if that's like a lead set or something that wants to be broad, and Water Shuriken do a lot of damage there. Also Taunt the Quagsire if it's like toxic or is not fully healthy. I can go for a Taunt, make sure it doesn't recover up, and then it's weak in that way, Aegislash or Charizard can kill in the future. I would have liked Ice Beam on the set to hit Dragonite harder, but hopefully Dark Pulse is going to be good enough. Hopefully. So that's my team, and yeah, let's get right into this game. All right, here we are for the game, and as we see, Parker does have basically the 6 months that I expected. I did expect the Quagsire, and I expected the Kamala to come, as well as obviously his other 4 very threatening Pokemon. Lycanroc was also good in this game, but I figured these would be the 4 that come. Makes a lot of sense to me. So, plan here, again, lead with Mesprit. Get a light screen up, so that way Darkrai doesn't do much damage with Dark Pulse. If Darkrai is the lead, hopefully I get a Thunder Wave on it, and we're looking good. So as we see to what our leads here, I'm going to lead with the Mesprit, and he is going to lead with the Darkrai. It makes a lot of sense. I'm going to go for a Thunder Wave, and try to get a flinch on, or hopefully I don't get flinch. He goes for a Dark Pulse, and I get a Thunder Wave, so that is perfect. Don't get flinched. I can tell he's Scarf based on, I can't tell he's Scarf, but I assume he's Scarf because he's not a boosting item anyway based off that damage. But because I am like very specially defensive and no speed, he will outspeed me if he's Scarf. So ideally I can save this Mesprit in the future, maybe get a light screen off or reflect in the future. So we will save this, and I'm going to go into my Passimian, which is not going to take a Dark Pulse at will, but it takes the Dark Pulse. It does 40%. It's crazy how strong Darkrai is here, but should threaten it out with a close combat, and I think U-turn is also fine. If he stayed in there, then I guess I go into Mesprit and sack it off, and then bring back a Passimian and U-turn again. But he is threatening out, so I am going to go for the U-turn and try to keep the momentum up. So I'm going to go into Kartana, and as we see here, he is not leftovers. So Rindo Berry is probable. If I am Life Orb, if I'm Banded, I'd kill. If I'm Life Orb Kartana, I probably kill from this range. If he's at 100% health, then Life Orb Kartana wouldn't kill Quagsire, and he could kill me in return with Hidden Power Fire. So I'm not really sure what his thought process is with the Quagsire in terms of like keeping his Rindo Berry, or if he wants Rindo Berry to take on Charizard X, which is pretty threatening into this build. Not sure what he's going to want to do here. He could also go into, like, I don't know, Cresselia. Probably not Dragonite, unless if it's like a Roost variant. or mawile, I guess, or option. I don't think you can go into darkrai on this or Kamala. So he brings in a mawile, gets off an intimidate, and I'm going to go for a leaf blade and deal 24%. That's definitely fine. This shows that he's probably max HP mawile, because I did 24%, which is a lot of damage from like a non-boosted Kartana, but Kartana is also a crazy Pokemon, so I'm going to go in Charizard. He could go for Fire Fang or go for Stealth Rocks or Knockoff. I don't think you go for Rock Slide or anything like that, so I'm going to go right into Charizard on this, and he is going to get up Stealth Rock, so definitely annoying. I do want to defog at some point with Kartana, but now that I have the Charizard in, I can Mega, so I'm like not as worried about taking rocks in the future, so it's not the worst. But definitely want to go for a Flare Blitz here. I could predict the Quagsire to come in, but I think that one, it's definitely a possible play, and two, he could be Rock Slide and just sack off the mawile, which wouldn't be great, but if he predicts like me to go for Hidden Power Grass, or like it's an easy enough prediction that I could make, and if he goes into Quagsire, he would get 2 KO'd and then lose his counter, so I don't think he makes a hard Quagsire play. So he's going to switch out and go into Cresselia. Depending on his spread, he might be able to take 2 hits. And as we see here, he takes 56% and doesn't show he's left over, so probably max HP. Now, this definitely scares me. He is not physically defensive, so I took a KO, which is fine. He could be, though, max speed, and max speed Cresselia would outspeed my Charizard set. I only outspeed Dragonite. I don't know if that's something that he would do, but if he's max speed, he's probably going to go for a Thunder Wave and then hit my Charizard, and that would also be pretty bad because Charizard is just such a nice breaker this game, outspeeding Dragonite, probably outspeeding Darkrai. I probably outspeed everything on the team at this point, so that would be quite unfortunate if I get Thunder Wave, because I have nothing to prevent that. No Healing Wish from Mesprit, or no, I don't have a Cleric on this team anyway, so it's risky, but I figured I'm fine to go for the hit. So I'm going to go for Flare Blitz again, and he does go into Quagsire, which is a good play, because he probably lives his Hidden Power Grass, assuming that he's Rindo Berry. And as we see here from the Flare Blitz, that he is not Rocky Helmet either, so and this is more and more likely that he is Rindo Berry. So do I risk going for a Hidden Power Grass if he's Rindo Berry? He lives a hit and probably kills me in return. Earthquake does 55 to 65%. So I definitely have a chance to live an Earthquake anyway, but I would be also very, very low. I could also go into Kartana to like take the hit and then defog the rocks off, but he could recover and then be out of range of a Leaf Blade and then kill me in return with a Hidden Power Fire, so not entirely sure. He also could obviously not be Rindo Berry, so all those options are considerations, but I do go into Kartana. I think he's probably going to recover, though if I did think he was going to recover, it might have been okay to go for a Hidden Power Grass there. Definitely risky. He probably should have Earthquaked. This kind of has me thinking a little bit that he might not be Rindo Berry Quagsire if he's not going for the play, like going for the Earthquake. Maybe just assumed he was going to die and maybe can bluff a Rindo Berry longer, but he's probably Rindo Berry. So I'm in with my Kartana. Ideally, I want the rocks away, so I believe I go for a defog here, and that is fine. I give a free switching in the mawile, which is not great. But ideally I make sure rocks don't go up so Charizard can stay healthier at the 60% range, though it is quite annoying that the Quagsire is full health. And Kartana is definitely good to make sure the Quagsire is at least can get rid of his Rindo Berry, so that way Charizard can come in and kill in the future. So this is a tough spot. I don't really have a switch in, like play rough into Kartana. It's definitely fine. Mawile is not going to kill me with anything unless if he's Fire Fang. Or Brick Break, I suppose, but I don't think Brick Break is that likely of a... It could be a bring in a Greninja if you don't have Play Rough, but I think Play Rough is pretty good to like neutrally hit like Electros and Donphan and Passimian in this game, so I think he's probably that Play Rough on this set with rocks. So I'm going to go for a Smart Strike and try to go for the Twig KO, and it looks like I do, which is definitely nice for the Kartana, and he goes for Stealth Rock. So I can go for the kill here, but if I go for the kill... Dragonite can come in and Dragon Dance, which is not the worst, but I also do want to keep my focus sash on my Greninja in check for the Dragonite, so I'm going to prioritize defogging and making sure rocks don't go up on the field. And he does have Fire Fang, and he kills my Kartana, which is definitely unfortunate. I wasn't sure if he was able to fit Fire Fang on the set. But I guess looking at the team, cresselia probably not fire coverage. Darkrai, I mean, that would do a lot of damage. Quagsire is probably Rindoberry plus 10 power fire. Kamal probably doesn't hit me. Dragonite can go for Fire Punch, but you to be Dragon Dance, Fire Punch. I guess Fire Punch is the way to hit aegislash, but you're risking King Shield with that scenario there. So probably, I guess it kind of makes sense that the mawile does have Fire Fang. It kills my Kartana. Definitely unfortunate, but at least I don't have rocks up on the field, and I can bring in Charizard. I can go for the scenario of trying to go for Flare Blitz into Hidden Power Grass, killing the Quagsire, but again, Quagsire probably has Rindo Berries, so I don't think that's going to kill. So definitely a tough play here. I imagine just going for the kill in a mile is definitely fine, but he does go into Quagsire. Definitely a good play. Flare Blitz is not going to do a lot of damage. Maybe I get a burn, and I don't get a burn. So this is definitely a tough call. I can go for Hidden Power Grass, and I probably die to an Earthquake, though I don't know why he didn't do that like in the first scenario anyway. Either way, I figured it'll keep the Quagsire low, so that way my aegislash can come in, and I should be dealing pretty decent damage. Mawile is weakened, Darkrai is parried, not that it's going to outspeed me anyway. Cresselia is weakened. Really only Dragonite is the major threat if this Quagsire is weakened. So I'm going to go for the Hidden Power Grass and try to weaken it, but he is actually not Rindoberry, and I just get the kill. I was very surprised about that. Apparently he was like a Guava Berry or something like that gave him 50% HP if he was at quarter health or below. So I did not expect that, and in Power Grass just gets the kill. So that's awesome for me. Now Charizard is like a pretty big threat into everything, unless if it is max speed Darkrai, not Darkrai just having enough speed and outspeed Greninja. As we see here, he brings out Dragonite. I guess either way, he wouldn't know that scenario if I'm like outspeeding that as well. So yeah, I am not going to kill the Dragonite with the Dragon Claw. Maybe if I get a crit, I might, but I'm going to just deal as much damage as possible. I'm going to go for a Dragon Claw, and I do a lot of damage through multi-scale. This shows that he is like no bulk. So he's probably max attack, max speed Jolly, speed tying like a Scarf Mesprit or a Scarf Passimian, which I do have Scarf Passimian, but again, I have to risk the speed tie, and I have to risk Rock Slide hitting, because I don't know if knockoff kills, especially if he's probably a Z move, so I don't think I'm going to kill anyway. I probably have to go for Rock Slide, so a little bit scary there, but definitely a scenario. But I'm fine staying in with Charizard, just going for Dragon Claws and getting the kill. But I'm going to switch out into Mesprit. I think Charizard is still worth keeping, and I don't think he goes for 2 Dragon Dances. And I mean, very, very worse, he does, and I go into Greninja because his focus action attack, I should go for Dark Pulse, and that should kill the Dragonite from this range. So, going to Mesprit, I think Charizard is still fine in this game. Mesprit's not doing anything. I have Dazzling Gleam, so that way Dragonite's not, I'm not set a fodder for it. He is going to go for a Z move and kills me with Devastating Drake. I don't know if he did that because he's Outrage, and if he just went for regular Outrage, then aegislash could come in. So he's probably Z Outrage with Earthquake and probably Extreme Speed. I think that's like generally fine in this build. He just doesn't have coverage for the Kartana. But +1 Earthquake is doing okay. It's not going to kill though, but it's not like Kartana does a ton of damage back for a turn. So we're going to come out, go into a Greninja, hopefully kill with Dark Pulse. And I'm not too worried about losing my Sash because aegislash is fully healthy. It still has a Z move, so it can hit Cresselia fine. And we also know it's not physically defensive, so I'm doing a lot of damage with Shadow Claw. Goes for an Earthquake, doesn't even bring me to my Focus Sash, which is nice. And I kill with a Dark Pulse. I don't believe the crit mattered. Yeah, no, the crit did not matter. So nice there. Greninja gets the kill. Mega Mawile comes out. He could go for rocks here, but I imagine he's going to go for a sucker punch to try to kill my Greninja. So I'm going to go for water shuriken, and I'll prioritize a sucker punch in case he does go for it. And also, like, if I got 4 hits, I would have killed. But he goes for a sucker punch, does not get it, and I'm able to kill with the water shuriken on the following turn. He's going to choose to save his mawile. I guess it's just a sucker punch threat in the future against, like, aegislash if he thinks he has an opportunity to set up again. Which means he's probably sacking off the cresselia here. So I get actually 4 hits, which is nice, but Dark Pulse should kill, and it does. He was max best defensive, but I think even if I only got 2 hits from my Greninja with Water Shuriken, Dark Pulse would have killed in that scenario anyway. So cresselia is down. It's looking pretty good for me. Kamala comes out here. I don't think I go into aegislash. I just go for Dark Pulse. Surf would have done more damage, but Dark Pulse flinch into Surf might kill the Kamala, so that's what I went for, but I could have revenge killed anything after his damage from Dark Pulse anyway, but he does not get flinch and goes for a U-turn. I'm also not worried about like a rapid spin getting a +1 speed kill because this is generation 7, so don't have to worry about the speed boost there. So a U-turn, go to Mega Mawile. Sucker Punch is doing a lot of damage, but Passimian should have a Sucker Punch. I do fine. Still does a lot, but not enough. Close combat comes here, and it looks like it should win the game. Maybe a crit Sucker Punch from Kamala might kill me. So do I switch out? No, I'm gonna just go for a close combat. We see Chople Berry, but that is not gonna be healing himself enough. I do 78% min to the Kamala, so even with the Chople Berry, so close combat is going to come in, and I got 3 kills with Simeon to finish out the game, and we get the win, and with pretty good differential too. We actually finished the season 4-4 with +7 differential, which is pretty good to end off the Ultra Sun Ultra Moon slate here. I went 2-2 in both generations, which is definitely fine for me. There were 4 teams that finished with 5 wins or more, so I did not get in the playoffs, unfortunately, but I'm pretty happy with my performance. Definitely got unlucky against TJ, but I got lucky against Maddie, so I think the luck was pretty much neutral, and again, I can't complain about luck after my last draft league season. That was pretty crazy, but I'm pretty happy with my performance. It was definitely a fun project, and I hope people enjoy the old generation stuff. Definitely something different. I mean, I know the series definitely didn't get as many views as like Wi-Fi stuff, but that's okay. I had a really fun time doing this, and hopefully people have really enjoyed this change in the content here. So won't have draft league content probably for like a month to 6 weeks, probably about 6 weeks after this video goes up. And then I should have some information there, so stay tuned. But hopefully I'm going to guarantee that I have Alestral's content before then. I hate that I've been putting it off so long, but I'm like job searching, and my house might get sold because I'm renting, so I might have to find a new house soon. There's a lot of stuff going on, and Dan and Deathly. So Dan and Deathly both reached out to me, and they're going to be sending me Daybreak stuff as well for Alestral. So it's like I have all 3 sets of Alestrals like sitting in boxes of. Oh, I have 2. I haven't gotten to Daybreak stuff yet. It's probably came in by the time this video goes up. So like, I wanted to do like starter like pack analysis from the beginning, but it's like we're on the 3rd set, and like that's the hotness. So I'll probably start with the hotness and then do the older stuff, but I definitely want to get to all the Alestral stuff that I had. It's a very fun game. So and I know that like my local card shop is first tournament is the Sunday after this video goes up, which I don't think I'll be able to make, but like going into like October-ish range, I want to try to get to some of those tournaments and maybe reach out to PK Sparks. I know he's pretty local to me and pretty big in Alestral, so I'll reach out to him in his card shop. So we'll see. Definitely want to get more Alestral stuff. You'll see Draft League Wi-Fi stuff on the channel soon. Thank you for Maddie and Carson for having me again in UDL. It's been a blast, and it's really, really fortunate I've gotten to know those 2 as well as I have over the years. Definitely great, and glad that they're doing well. So, and that the league is still doing pretty good. as like when I'm recording this video, I believe finals are set. Though I think finals are set, or maybe one's in finals, the other is in semifinal, the other division's in semifinals. So we're rearing towards the end. The league might be done by the time this video goes out, not entirely sure, but it's been a lot of fun. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. A little bit of rambling at the end, but that's okay. Yeah, get excited for Lestral stuff and some Wi-Fi draft league soon. But yeah, until next time, later guys.